Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something pretty wild, the connection between the meaning of a single word and the absolutely chaotic, high-stakes world of online nickname auctions. Yeah, you heard that right.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll unpack how one little Korean word can mean something like angry dog or a blooming flower. Wild, right? Then, we'll see how that whole idea blows up into a pretty intense debate about language. And finally, we'll connect all of that to a digital auction where simple names, just words, can sell for a crazy amount of money. Okay, so our story kicks off with a simple question of interpretation, and it all revolves around this one Korean word.
Now, this looks pretty straightforward, doesn't it? But here's the twist. Depending on what you already know, this word can mean completely different things. And I mean like polar opposite things.
You see, it all comes down to your knowledge of Hanja. Those are the Chinese characters that are sometimes used in Korean. If you don't have that context, the sound ge usually means dog. So you hear 개화 and you're thinking angry dog or something like that. But if you do know the Hanja, you instantly get that the real meaning is to bloom, like a flower.
So this difference in understanding, that's what our source calls a gap in one 해력, which is basically literacy or reading comprehension. And it's not just a theoretical thing. The author shares this great story about how he himself first saw a skill in a game called 개화 and totally thought it was about a dog. It was only later that he had that aha moment and realized, wait a minute, the problem wasn't the word. It was his own lack of context.
And this personal light bulb moment about language? Well, it leads the author of our source to let's just say, a very strong and pretty controversial opinion.
Yeah, he basically makes this argument saying that if you look at it from a purely practical global perspective, knowing other languages might be more useful. Now, that is a really provocative statement for sure, but it gets you thinking, right? It forces us to ask, how do we decide what makes something as basic as language valuable? And that's the perfect pivot. Because this whole idea that value comes from context and what a community agrees on, it's not just about words in a dictionary. It's the exact same thing that powers the crazy digital marketplace we're about to dive into. A place where a few letters can be worth a ton of money. Which brings us finally to the MapleStory nickname auction. And let me tell you, according to our source, this thing is way more fun to watch than any old auction for a powerful weapon or some legendary armor. So what makes it so entertaining? Well, for one, the pace is absolutely frantic. Prices just shoot up out of nowhere. But the real kicker? It uses Maple points. That's a premium currency you have to buy with actual real-world money. So every single time someone clicks that bid button, real cash is on the line. The stakes are incredibly high. And then the game developers threw gasoline on the fire. They added one simple rule that creates all the drama: scarcity. If a nickname goes up for auction and doesn't sell, it's gone. Poof, deleted forever. It can never, ever be listed again. All of a sudden, it's a now or never situation, which is, the perfect recipe for some epic bidding wars. So you gotta understand, this auction is more than just people buying stuff. It's a full-on spectator sport. It has its own culture, its own secret strategies, and a whole lot of drama. Our source talks about this brilliant little tactic. Picture this. You see a great name, a name that should be worth, say, $200, and it's about to sell for only $50. You don't even want it, but you just can't let it go that cheap. It feels wrong. So you jump in with a $51 bid, just to mess with things and drive the price up. It's this super risky, kind of mischievous play that could start a huge bidding war, or, whoops, you could end up stuck with a nickname you never wanted in the first place. And that's where the real fun is, just watching it all go down. You'll see a simple battle between two bidders, back and forth, and then bam, a third person jumps in. Then a fourth, and these are all anonymous competitors, so you have no idea who they are or how deep their pockets go. All you know is the price is climbing higher and higher and higher. Yeah, that right there is the core appeal. Like the source says, it's more popcorn-worthy than anything. It's not just an auction, it's a live drama. A community event where rivalry and economics clash in real time for everyone to watch.
Okay, so after all that drama, what is it that actually makes a name valuable? I mean, why would anyone spend hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars for a few letters on a screen?
Well, it's this fascinating mix of things. It comes right back to our Gehua example. A lot of it is subjective. It's about personal taste and interpretation. But layered on top of that, you've got pure market forces like scarcity, the entertainment and drama of the auction itself, and of course, just plain old financial firepower. Who has the biggest wallet?
And all of this leaves us with a really interesting question to chew on. In a world where our online lives and digital identities are becoming so important, what's the real price of a name? And maybe more importantly, what does that price tag tell us about what we as a community really value?